Yeah, welcome back to the M365 Podcast. Welcome. Today we are joining by someone who has dedicated his career to helping people building better business applications, not by writing thousands codes of line of codes, but by empowering organizations through the Microsoft Power Platform. Our guest today is Jesco Ai, uh, a Microsoft MVP, Microsoft certificated trainer, international speaker, mentor, and passionate community leader. Tesco also specialized in Power Apps, Power Automate, Dataverse, Power Pages, and Copilot Studio, with a particular focus on creating beautiful, user-centric applications that people actually, yeah, enjoy to using. His work combines low-code development, modern UX principles, and artificial intelligence to help business deliver solutions faster while keeping user at the center of every the design decision. Also, today, conversion, we explore how AI is changing application development, why good design matters just much more than functionality, the future of low code, lessons learned from the community, and advice for anyone wanting to build next generation of business application. So grab your favorite beverage, sit back, and enjoy this conversion with Casco. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you very much, and good afternoon, good morning, everyone.
Eh, Thank you for being here. For people who don't know you actually, who are you and how was your way into the Microsoft ecosystem?
Okay, thank you very much, Mike. So, like you said already, my name is Cesco Ai, and I love designing beautiful apps in for Canvas or whatever it is I find myself. I started as a normal developer, and then just learning along online Microsoft certification and those things. So I got into Azure 900, and then and started posting online that hey, I got certified to this. Is a new technology. I'm just learning. I'm not too much fan of the cloud, but it's fun. So there is this company that reached out to me and be like, okay, we see you are a dev and you like UI. We'd like to introduce you to a tool called Power Platform. Like, okay, do you code over there? They say no. All right. Let me see how it works. So that's where I venture into the Microsoft ecosystem because I never tried anything of it of sort before. And but the first year was amazing, was full of learning, and then from there the curiosity always pushing to do better because when I was started it was with Canvas and Canvas was not that easy to design and I want to build beautiful applications. So I put all my effort into that and it pays a lot. And today I travel all over trying to teach people and then talk about all these things and then try to empower as well people to use these tools in their day-to-day activities in that enterprise. Yeah, that's
Yeah, you get honored for your work with the Microsoft MVP award, and you also a Microsoft certified trainer. Can you tell a little bit how do you achieve this goals or this amazing certificate?
Okay, thank you. So with the MVP, when I started the first year in the company, it was a bit tough for me. So I was trying to learn, and then when I learn, I go online and the amazing Reza Dorani, and then the other people. I used to watch their tutorial all the time, and it inspired me a lot. And I joined a session and with the Kenyan community, and then the guy was doing the demo. He was struggling, and I was like, "Hey, do this, and then let's see." So he tried it and it worked. And somebody in the meeting came back to me like, "Are you an expert?" I said, "I'm new to it just a year, but I love experiencing a lot. That's why." And was like, "Okay, why not to help people on the community where people post for question and those things." So I started the Microsoft community page, and then everybody that posts question on Power Apps, Power Automate, I go and try to solve and then help over there. And then the community came back to me like, okay, now you have a good experience in this field. Can you give a technical session? I said, why not? Then I start from there giving some technical session, and then the Microsoft community in Kenya actually boosts my presence a lot by helping me, and then later they nominate me to the MVP level. So my task was to help the Microsoft student ambassadors in Africa, or let's say all the French-speaking Microsoft student ambassadors, to be together and then try to do things together. So that was the goal at the end of my when they tried to nominate me as an MVP, which I did, and then we started a journey with those team, and then we were boosting. Then later, the need came to me to be Microsoft certified by another MVP in Ghana, who was suggesting to me that your expertise at this point, you need to know how to handle training, and then on the professional way, on the Microsoft way. And I was like, okay, cool, no problem. How does it go? Then you just show me, okay, you need to be an MCT, and then this is how it goes. So, okay, cool. Let's jump into it. So then I did, and I passed all the tests that was required, passed all the functional skills that was there required by Microsoft. And then here we are today. I'm an NCT as well, joining that great community of leaders who are training and then helping others in the community wherever it finds. Yeah, that's that.
Yeah, and another topic you are famous for is it's UX. What? Yeah. Why do you think this topic is so important, especially for business apps?
Okay, great. So when you see in Canvas or in model driven, um, the people that design it are just way going. You don't have a full team of UI UX developers that need to structure the whole app before it goes live. So it just let's say since it's a low code tool, everybody try to design. Now when everybody design, then they just throw it out there, and you realize that the UI is totally not at this on point. The US is completely forgotten, and the processes are perfectly well, but just that part they are missing. And I realized that no, even though it's a low code system, we need to have that mindset of how to leverage the UI UX into this designing, and not just design or because there is a process to automate. And that is where I started to get focused more on and help beautify the app and help the UI, how the US, how the process should go, and also know that there are other people there that normally that don't use their eye to read an application, but rather have readers in the browser. And we need to also make sure it help them as well. We don't just build the app for people in the organization, ignoring the disability people that cannot access the app directly the way we do with the UI. And that is what come with the UI and the US all together combined to make sure the apps that we build are all aligned and help everybody in the organization level.
Mm, awesome. Um, what did you think? Do too many developers focus on features first? And why should you or should they start first with user experience? I don't know, like a map or a plan.
Okay, sorry, come and give you the question.
Yeah, yeah. If I think a lot of developers when they start a project or they're thinking about features first, um, why and how should they rethinking, especially to get the user a better user experience? How can they start, uh, especially with this change in their mind or yeah.
Hmm. Okay. All right. So that's why in normal development, when you are developing in a normal pro code, you need a UI UX design first, well approved before the developer itself go into the deep coding. But when it comes to our ecosystem or Power Platform or Canvas, uh, once we jump, you start thinking of the features. Okay, we need to have this, we need to have that, forgetting the main approach of how the app should look like. Now, when you are done, you realize that there are things that are scattered around. The button is here, the gallery is here, and but as long as the process works, we don't focus on that, which is totally not the way it's supposed to be. As a Power Platform developer, we need to first of all know that how the UI should go. Even if the UI is not that interesting in Power Apps, you need to have it in mind. What are we designing? And is it a finance app? How should it be? And then is it a fleet management system? How should it go? How would the UI go? When you start with the UI, then you have your database structured already that can fit in that UI. you have your features already that can fit in that UI. But when you start with the features, you realize that there are things scattered all across, and you don't know which one should go to the next screen, which one should be at its first page, and all like that. So the best way or the best approach, what me I do, I start with a UI screen fully designed.
Mm.
Um, then I integrate my database and then try to add the features that are needed one by one, and also making sure that the UI or the US also follow along on that start. But always starting with the UI US first before adding the rest of the features that are needed all along the way.
What, from your perspective, what makes, I say, a business application, yeah, I say, enjoyable to use?
Mhm. Great. So before I answer that, one of my finance director used to tell us that, look guys, when you're building the app for the customer, make sure the app look beautiful, because once it's beautiful, it attracts the end user first before you start looking at, okay, why is this button not working? So my first approach is, let the app be catching the person's face. Let the UI be very beautiful. It's not like we are building an app for a banking system whereby is internal. People are just putting banking details and then deducting from someone's account. No, this one is user facing, and the app need to attract the user, so that every time you take the app, you want to do something, you feel you're using something, you get it. So my approach is, the UI should stand first. The UI should stand in the app. Yeah, that is my approach. I stand on that ground and I always stand on that. UI to impress, let it impress. Then once it impress, if there is any failure in the app, at least the UI is standing, it can convince already that yeah, the job can be done.
Mm.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, or app developers say, mobile first. Is this also an important topic in business apps?
In business app, no, is not the case. In business app, it depends on the process that we are trying to automate here. So if it's an app that require people on the field, then you go to mobile. But if when it is a model driven app, it doesn't matter, because it can easily be responsible across all screen size. But when it comes to canvas, that's why you ask yourself, either mobile or desktop app, because mobile cannot help with some features, and then responsiveness in canvas is very 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 difficult to achieve. So it requires more time. So that's why when you are starting a project in canvas, you first of all need to ask the client, what will be the purpose of this process? Are the users on field or at the office? And when they are office seated, there's no need for it to be on mobile. You just need desktop, they open it straight on their desktop, and then it goes. Now, if it is a mobile, maybe it's a fleet management, if maybe it's a delivery system that goes with the company, then you can be on mobile, you get it, and have an admin access that is on a desktop. But I don't complicate my system building them responsive when it comes to Canvas app. I make sure I separate it. Mobile is mobile, desktop are desktop. But normal development, those design are pretty easy, so you can do that. But in Canvas, it's very difficult. So I don't encourage that, and I don't advise to go on a responsive or choosing mobile while people using the app will be at the office. No.
Mm. And do you create, yeah, personas, or a user journey before you start with application?
Yeah, definitely. You always go that way.
And yeah, um, what role you play user feedback before building?
Okay. So first of all, once I hear the process, I know at once what we'll be looking for over here. But most of the time, the company I was working for was a Microsoft partner, so they are external clients. So when they start asking too much question, they are not even aware of some certain question. But me, with my years of experience, I know most of the questions already that I can easily ask to not make the client bored. So by targeting those points, I already know my user story, and then I know where to go with it.
Mhm. And how much or, yeah, how much psychologic goes into application design?
Okay, a lot, because like I said, you need to impress with the UI, so you need to think like the user. So there's a lot psychological thing that come into it. There's a lot that goes in there.
Mm.
Yeah.
And and yeah, a lot of people say they make I don't know, a beautiful design, but it's only design. It is not usability. How did you balance a beautiful design to yeah, to a good user experience?
Okay, so once you finish your app, you the one of the dilemma in there is that you cannot go to every user and make sure you satisfy them. Somebody would like the button to be at position at another place for him. Somebody would like the button to be bigger at this point. So we combine the US how do you call it, policies to create the app. So now once the app is done, what you do is wait for the next maybe the next 3 months, 6 months to see the people using the app, and then now get the feedback. Okay, what are your issues with the app? The US, how do you think about it? Then from there, you gather those infos, and then now we need to, okay, we can adjust the screen to this particular level. But at the beginning, you don't know how the users will feel, and then you cannot directly go to them. They need to know what the app does and then how to use it before. So I ship the app to the users, waiting for another feedback for the next 3 months, and then to refine the UX to fit their design or their desire. So that's how I go with it.
So is UX design a project or is it a process?
It's a process.
Okay. Um, for yeah, I say for newcomers, how would you explain them the Power Platform ecosystem?
Okay. So very simple the way Microsoft used to evangelize it. It is a low code tool or technology that help enterprise personnel or people to automate their process quicker without any stress. Not like if you need a lead management system, you need to find a developer, and they can take them 3 months, 6 months to build the full thing, and then it's a long process. While with the Power Platform, if it's a leave management like this, within a week, your system is ready and it's purely simple, low code. And then you have the Power Automate as well that is there with also drag and drop, or you can just comment. And then you have your process flow that can automate some of the leave, and I said the leave, the email that you receive, act on your behalf, update some SharePoint leads, some Excel here and there. And then the Power Page as well, that is like an enterprise website that showcase companies data to external users or companies partners that can log in using an identity to view their specific data as well. So you have the Dataverse, which is the backend, and then which is a relational database that also does cool things over there, and then has it on top of model-driven app, and you do a marvelous thing. Now, all these technologies communicate to each other and are purely enterprise-grade usage. So people who find themselves in a company that feel a normal form or a paperwork, maybe at a security check and co, can easily just change that paperwork into digital form and then have the data sent into SharePoint, or just use Canvas or model driven to just be something simple like that to manage their day-to-day activity while using the pen. So we are trying to go from the era from writing on paper to digitalization, and these tools in Power Platform are helping us achieving those kind of things. And then yeah, basically I covered all of them, and then we have the connectors that connect to this system. Like they are like an API in the other system. When you're calling them, they're like API, and this kind of API are just connecting us to all the various data source that are possible that we need into our for our system or our project to continue working. So basically that is it I can tell about Power Platform.
Yeah, and there's I don't know in the Power Apps there's a new I don't know That's Canvas app, model-driven apps, and there's some new AI. I don't know the name actually.
Yeah, code.
Uh, code apps, code apps. Um, how did you think are when we look back to the design things? Code apps doing a great design and usability on what is the difference to the other both yeah uh, app building ways apps?
Okay, great. So if the code apps is like you're building a full what do you call it, React app, completely, we that will be pulling the data from Dataverse. So it's pretty cool, and then it has a beautiful design layout. And then if you are a pro developer, you can easily leverage it to build a correct or standing application React based using this data. What we couldn't have throughout these years when we are having Canvas and model driven only. And now that these code apps are here, they are really there to help. And even with narration, we can have a standard app already that you can use. But if you are a pro, like I say, if you are a pro, you can rechain the UI that's the AI gave you completely to become a complete UI that you create on your own. And this one is mostly a pro development side, which require a UI develop a design first that the developer will use. And so that part is mostly for I will recommend that one mostly for pro developers, because if there is a particular place that the system generates for you and you are trying to query, knowing that the AI is not at that level yet, so you will be struggling in correcting, narrating that particular place for you. But it worked perfectly, but I don't recommend it for um someone who is not too much in the pro code to use it. And but if you need a standard app, then it's cool, you can go to it. But code apps is great, is really helping now, and then is making the change in the Canvas app development now.
Mm. And there's I think or I don't know if it's really new, but there it's also called Power Apps Component Framework. Uh, have you used it and what is it?
Okay. So PowerFS components are actually the old style of the code that we normally use in Power Apps. So it's like a feature that you cannot achieve in Canvas Power App or in a model driven. And then you need a code app that is purely JavaScript or React that you code, and then you call into the Power Apps that you can just drop as a normal button. You can create a button like that with maybe an animated icon. And so those are those components that we create and then we add into the Power App. So they are great, and then they help in when there are some features that are totally out of the box that you don't have in available for you to use. Then you go and create it. So you have most of those one in the gallery app that's the power we use in the community, and then there are
Mm,
templates like calendar template like printing. So those are functionality that we normally don't have, and
mm,
people just create it over there. And you can just, if you don't know it, you can just use it and read the documentation, and just apply it either in your Canvas app or in your model driven apps.
mm. And another topic I think a lot of Power Platform or especially Power Apps dude speaks about is data wars. What is that?
Dataverse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dataverse is actually that great backend of the full Power Platform where all the data are seated. And at the beginning, it's very great. It's a very great tool to help building. And then it's a relational table compared to SharePoint, because when you have a tenant, you already have a free SharePoint. But Dataverse on the other side, they help you with more of the relationship where you can integrate one to many, many to one, more or less like what you do in SharePoint, whereby you have to do those relationship manually. In Database, you can just easily do that. And Database is little bit faster than SharePoint, or let's say 90% faster than SharePoint. Something that you do on SharePoint, or you call a SharePoint database, or you trigger a flow, a Power Automate flow from SharePoint, can take sometimes 30 seconds. listen, Dataverse can actually trigger within that second at once they trigger it. So that's the difference with SharePoint over there in Dataverse. So Dataverse is really great, and then it connects across all the ecosystem of Power Platform, either from Power Page, Power Apps, Power Automate, wherever you find yourself. Database is there to be connected and then used, and it's great. And because it's relational, that is what me I like about it. It helps us get the less burden you need to get in SharePoint.
Mm. And I think another, yeah, really new, really new, yeah, another product. It's Copilot Studio. How did it fit into the Power Platform ecosystem, and especially when should I build a Copilot and when should I build an app?
Okay. So Copilot Studio is actually where you build those bots that interact with the users. Now, when to build an app and when to build a code that is in the Copilot Studio. So not all the process need to an app as well, yeah, and not all the process also need a bot. So it all goes together, but all those all both of them need a database. So now we have our database in SharePoint, and then a user need an information. It doesn't want to go to the app. You can easily query the agent. So you can build an agent that can respond, bringing the data from the app or from from the database to the user directly without the user opening the app. So in the other hand, you can also tell the user that, okay, if you want to fill a form or if you want to submit a leave, just query the bot. In the other hand, you can also have the app that can also do that. Now, it depends on where the person feel is flexible for him to do. But you can build a leave management system like this on a chatbot, whereby the chatbot pick your data, send it to the database, and then update your record, and then send an email to your supervisor or a superior asking for your leave. Now, in the other hand, you can also have the main app that also does the thing. Now, there are some places whereby the form become complex. Now, when the form become complex, I would rather advise not to use the bot at that point. You can use that's where you need the app to manage the complexity over there. And then there are sometimes too, when you submit a request, you need to see the history of that request. So agent will not be great on that, or copilots will not be great at that side, and that's where the app comes in. But if it's just basic information that a user needs, then Copilot Studio or the agent at that point would be great to help. Like you are trying to query a data, um, trying to enroll a new user in the company, and the user needs some infos. You need to for the onboarding. So the agent will be great. It's like a chat, so it help progress or step by step guiding the user into the company rather than giving a full onboarding app whereby the user has so many buttons, so many navigation, and is wondering where to start first, even though there is some way to indicate that register here, but the user find it difficult. But with the chat, user can easily ask, so where should I proceed? Then you give the next step. Okay, you need to give us your details, your name, so that you create your ID, your badge, or whatever it is. So I would say that it will depend on the scenario, but if it's too complex, you go to the app. If it's not that complex and does not require too much information taken from the user, then you go with the agent.
Awesome. I think AI has, yeah, nearly become part of every Microsoft product. What exciting you actually most?
Okay. What excites me most is that at first when I'm designing, it takes me more time. But now I just need to tell what I want and it is done for me. So that is one great aspect of the thing that I need I like from AI. It has helped me throughout this new this from 2024, 2025, and now it has been helping me greatly in most of my things. And sometimes I like watching too much of Reza Dorani and the rest their videos. So sometimes you need some particular place and then you forgot the particular video that you watch and you have to go through 10 or 5 video before you get it to, okay, that was the video that I was looking for, and this is the point I wanted to check. But if this one you just query the AI, it can drill through and then get you the exact request or what you need at that point just by chatting. And then it's easier for us to chat and like, oh no, not this part. I wanted that this is like this. And you describe and it goes. That is one thing the AI is helping us with. So when you are doing a Google search or you want some tutorial, you can usually just ask ChatGPT that based on my scenario or whatever AI it is you are using, based on my scenario, what do you request for me or what do you suggest? And it's helping. So AI at this point is helping us a lot in that particular factor.
Mhm. Awesome. Um, but when you think, you say you use also, yeah, AI for planning and generate a code. Um, do you think this will, yeah, sometimes that developer can become, uh, yeah, I say unemployed because the AI does so a great job?
Um, I don't think so. I will not be unemployed. No, I will still be employed because I know how to use the AI. It's not like I'm copying everything the AI is giving me, but it's just like I am like the let's say I'm like the pro in the office, and the AI is like a junior who just joined the company. And I'm like, hey, I'm busy now, but can you get me this file? And he's like, okay, you bring it. So I'll verify if that's the file I need. So everything I query from AI, I always verify and make sure that it is right. And when I hear people saying that AI is taking our job, well, AI is taking our job, cool. But have you learned about prompt engineering to know how to query AI better? Because if you know how to query AI better, I don't know why they will start you at the office. No, because um, if I'm trying to build uh, let's say we take Power Platform ecosystem and we have an app to build, and there is this plan in Power Platform now, and you can use plan to just describe what you want, and then the database will be generated for you, and the model driven app you can easily create it from there. And now you have that AI in the system, and then instead of you using that AI, you are now doing things manually, and that AI can help you within 5 to 10 minutes, finish everything. And now you have to create the data manually, try to map everything. It will take you maybe a week to finish everything, all the architecture. While somebody else in the company just use the AI and then within a day is done. So you will lose your job, definitely. So that is the AI era. So we need to just know how to do the prompt engineering to make sure we leverage this AI to faster doing our work so that we don't get sacked.
Yeah. But would you say, is there something where you say there it's every time you meet a human in the loop, and how can I differ a process I can really automate, I don't know, with agents or completely with AI?
Okay, so like I said, human will always come into the loop, definitely. So the human will be there to verify what is going on. Now, any automation that comes, while you giving to the AI, you need to also understand what is this about. Now you need to understand it. Once you understand it, you know that okay, this is what I want, and you give to the AI. And when the AI give you your response, you need to also verify, does it align with the main idea of this before you take it into somewhere else or into production, whatever it is. Because that one is also needed. And we end up not verifying everything we think is okay, then we copy, and then that's why you backfire. It backfire us at the long run. So the human is always centric at that side, verifying whatever is generated, and then when it's generated, and then how it is done, if it's correct, if there is a flaws, if there is a mistake in it. Does that make
Mm,
sense?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, Also, yeah, that's, yeah, it's really makes sense. Um, I think you say, yeah, AI prompting and prompting. Um, are we moving through a prompt-driven development, or did we stay in these times actually?
uh we are in the prompt in the development, yeah, and it's growing faster because of the AI are growing more and more, and this era is growing faster in this prompt engineering area. It's growing faster, and every developer needs to know how to do this prompt engineering, to know how to prompt well, to get the best result out of the system. If not, you'll be left behind.
Mm. Um, what did you think? What role does actually play governance in, yeah, I say, in an AI first world?
Oh, okay, governance always come first in these AI technologies because these technologies are new and we don't know what is the bad side of it, and we are all jumping into it. And then that's why I always advise when you are using this AI, you make sure you are using it on the right in the right way. Copilot is pretty much secured, but company always make sure it is governed over there because we need data protection, and most of those over there, we need data not to go outside the company. And then also you need to lecture everybody using it to know how to use this data, to know what type of data to share with the AI so that they don't get compromised. So the governance at that side is totally needed, and always needed. And I just urge company to always make sure that once you enable any AI into the tenant, you make sure it's governed. You make sure you know what type of site it is accessing, so that you are not exposed.
Mm, yeah. Uh, um, let's a little bit look at your work. So we have a little bit real, yeah, real customer stories. Is there any? You don't have to explain the company name or something. What's one customer success story you're especially proud of?
Okay, great. So when I started building the Quick Canvas app, actually, it was pretty much standard. So I built it and I sent to the customer because I was learning, and they were like, okay, that's great. So I spent a lot of hours though, but I felt like what I did, they were not impressed. So yeah, I think a year later, I took that same app, and when I built it completely, refactor it for another company, they saw it. They were like, "Wait, this is not Power Platform. This is a normal development app." We're like, "No, verify it very well." Before they were like, "Wow, how did you do it?" That's where I was like, "Oh, okay." So actually, I'm doing something great in this Power Platform. So I shared this app with online on LinkedIn, and you could see hundreds of people just still see me. Oh, this is great. Can you get the UI? Can you get the source code? And when I go to conference and I display it, those who know Power Platform will be like, no, my brother, this is not Power Platform. So that is the feedback I always get whenever I create. And I always want to impress, to go beyond what I'm doing always. To make sure when I build finish, I show to somebody, look, do you think this is beautiful? And not somebody in Power Platform, but somebody as a developer, the person will be like, oh, what style do you use? Is it React? Is it JavaScript? Before you'll be like, no, this is Power Platform. You'll be like, oh, really? So I always have that particular side always when I'm building, and then get the feedback from these people and then see their reaction. Either you are a pro in Power Platform, you know how it works, or you are a pro developer. So I always have this to make sure that, yeah, it is aligned because I always want to make sure it pass the normal expectation.
Mm, and yeah, we have also talked about the UX design. Yeah, do you convince leadership into UX?
Okay. For that side, I take the decision over here, and because most of the time when the leadership try to talk, I just tell them that, look, I am the expert here. Give me your brand designing, and I will follow it. But just make sure that wherever the button is, that is the perfect way. So when you tell me that no, we want it at this position, I say fine. Then I leave it to you. Now you realize that I said at the earlier one that I give 3 months to 6 months and get back the feedback. And that is where the feedback backfire the management realizing that okay, the decision we made on the UI is actually did not help the the report that you got. Get it? So then they come back and be like, okay, now you got this. They didn't like it at all. Now draft us a new UI to propose to the team. And when you draft, you send everybody will like, oh yeah, yeah, I like the way this one is. I like the color centric. I like this, and you realize that okay, now we cut across. So if the companies, sometimes some of the companies they are I would say stubborn, so you can't challenge them. So when you tell them that you are US experts, they don't understand what is US. So they feel like no, okay. but we want the app to be this way. I say, fine, I can design it for you. But you want this UI to be like this. I will tell you that no, this one will not work. They'll say, no, we want it. Okay. You are the one that paying, no problem. I'll design it for you. Then let's give us some 3 months to get the user feedback. So I always do that to get the user feedback and show it to them that this is what your users are saying. What do you think? And that is where they realize that okay, we made a mistake. Now let's proceed with your approach.
And was there any project where you say, "Wow, this help," or you getting you built it that that surprise you?
Yeah. So one day I built an asset management system, and I was so proud of the app up to date. I was so proud. I don't know how, but when I built it, I realized that it has a lot of me giving into the app. I build it, and every time I come, there is this feature I have to upgrade. There is this particular piece. I build it till I see myself in the app up to date. I've not released the app out there. I wanted to drop into the community, but every time I come, I see that there's a new thing I need to add into it. And that up to date, it still touch me whenever I see it. I get inspired that yeah, this is actually a great job I did over here. And then there is another one I used to demo, and then I was marveled by whatever I did over there. But actually, I didn't do it alone. AI was also part because it helped me with some of the code, and that's one marvel thing I see when I'm like, wow, yeah, this has helped a lot. So these two apps where I built on standalone myself and the other one that I built along with AI, when I compare the two, I'm like, yeah, I've done a great job. Yeah.
Mm. Um, yeah, community. I think that's also an interesting topic. Why did you think is community contribution so important?
Okay, first of all, as an MVP, we are there to help the community. We are there to support where Microsoft cannot reach and where money is not there in the discussion. So I love that part, just helping. I'm just having fun helping, and then this journey we are in is first of all that is why I'm MVP to just help, and I love volunteering in those things. And of course, we will also need the money. That's why I went also to become an MCT, to also, while I'm helping people, training people, I'm also getting some paid training as well to also survive. But the community is actually what built me up and what helped me to where I am today. That's why I always come back and then make sure I give back to that community, either in where I'm based locally, either in Africa or wherever I find myself. I always try to contribute as much as possible in that domain.
Okay. Awesome. Um, yeah. That's yeah. I think you are also a speaker. So what did you learn from your international speaking?
Okay, so first of all, before I step outside to go and do that, I was not confident enough. But when I just submitted, I saw the call for speakers one day. I'm like, okay, let me try it. It was Dubai. Let me try it, and I tried, and then they picked me. I'm like, okay, that's great. Then I was start getting panic, and I don't know. When I stood on the stage that day, I just started talking, and the audience were not difficult different from what I normally face. I'm like, okay, these are all human beings here after all, and they were amazing as well, and then they just welcome me, and then they enjoy the session. So from there, I pick it like, okay, yeah, then I can do this. I don't need to be always at home and be doing this. I can actually step outside the country or wherever I found myself to continue doing this. So international speaking is actually amazing. Doesn't matter. Uh, Either you are a pro in your fields. Once you know what you are delivering, that is all that matters, and the audience are always ready to love whatever you have to share with them.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. So I have in every every podcast I do a lightning or fast rapid round. I ask you some questions. You say what first come in your mind. Okay.
Mhm.
Coffee, tea, or Red Bull through development.
Coffee,
Uh, dark mode or light mode.
light mode,
Canvas apps or model driven apps.
canvas app,
Power Automate desktop or Cloud Flows.
cloud flows,
Dataverse or SQL?
Database,
Copilot Studio or Power Virtual Agents?
private agent,
One Microsoft feature everyone should try out.
um, Canvas app.
Have you one productivity habit you swear by?
Nope.
uh, best career advice you ever received?
Don't trust your employer.
uh, and what's your favorite conference?
Uh, Microsoft Live Experts.
Mm, what will you say is the actually biggest AI myth?
AI is there to replace us.
Is there one book everyone should read?
The Man in Babylon, or I believe so. That's the title. The
Uh,
richest man in Babylon.
mm, and what is the skill you will learning next?
What is it?
What's the skill you will learning next?
Um, Communication.
Okay. Yeah, cool. When we look a little bit into the future, how or will low code replace traditional development?
Okay, it has replaced it a lot already, and then we are going beyond it. And when you see the statistic, and low code is growing, the app that we are building with Power Platform or whatever it is are growing, and this low code platform are now coming more and more. So um the pro development will still be there, but local will take more of what is why is it. So let's say in the next 5 years, I can say maybe 60% growth will come from the local development.
Mm. And when Microsoft comes to you and say, "Hey, that goes you get all the resources, all the money you need," what will you redesign on the Power Platform tomorrow?
That will be the canvas studio, how it works, and make sure it's better, has better UIs, and then help everybody build easily.
Mm. Yeah, that's cool. I think, yeah, yeah. I think it's a little bit. Sometimes it's a little bit complicated to start with these all these Microsoft products.
Mhm.
Uh, what tips can you give people that they will start with? Yeah, they or have to start with Power Platform. What's the first tip you will give them?
Um, just more practicals, and then make sure you use the Bible of Microsoft, which is the Microsoft Learn. So that is a full documentation of the whole system over there. So just take Microsoft Learn and then practice more of whatever is there in terms of the Power Apps or Power Automate, whatever it is, and then put your hands on the real experience, real life scenarios, build more, and the more you build, you work, you get experience. And if you don't have any building, or you are not working on enterprise now, you can just go on the community page and see the scenarios people are creating over there where they are facing issues. Try to replicate it and then try to debug it on your own as well. That's
Mm,
it.
What yeah, what will you tell your 20 years younger yourself when you can meet him?
Okay, for my 20 years old self, like I'm like learn tech and then start IT earlier on. Yeah.
Is there any upcoming conferences or events you're speaking?
Yeah, yeah. So that would be MCT Africa, and then that will be held in Cameroon. That is East, I think, Central Africa. Then we have Dynamic Africa that will be held in Ghana as well in July this month. Yeah, I think on the 27th there, like that. And I think I'll be in Dubai in October as well for another for the Microsoft Expert Live as well.
Yeah. Then yeah, awesome. So I think thank you for joining me today. It was a really uh, good conversation. I love all the insights. Yeah, especially when we look, yeah, all the topics like AI and so on. It's I think that's the future topics that people have to look for. And yeah, so yeah, really nice. And all the informations and links are in the show notes on the MC65 M podcast page from you. And yeah, so what's the one final message you like every listener to remember?
Okay, so to every listener over there, just embrace what you love to do, and then make sure you do it well when you are taken into that position. Make sure you achieve the best out of whatever they put you in. That's my final stop.
Awesome. Yeah, then yeah, thank you for being here and stay the time and spend your time with me. And yeah, I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir Michael.
Bye.
Bye.